In this video, I'm going to be introducing the order by clause, which you can use to guarantee the sort order of the output. SQL actually has no guaranteed sort order for when you're writing queries. And what I mean by that is so far when you've been executing queries, Postgres is actually free to return the rows in any order that it wants. The sort order is not guaranteed. If you want your query output to be sorted in a particular order, you need to use the order by clause. Let's start things off by selecting from the film table. And we now want to order the films by their length, so we can use the new order by clause. Running that. And let's scroll through the output to see that it's sorted. Okay, it looks like the films have been sorted by length, and they've been sorted in ascending order. Ascending sort order is the default, so if you just say something like order by length, you're going to get the film sorted in ascending order, so numerically increasing. If you want to explicitly say to sort ascending, you use ask like this, and rerunning that, and you see you get the same output. But that's the default, so you don't have to write that in. You can also sort descending order. And you can see now, if we scroll through the output, that the films have been sorted by their length in descending order. It's interesting to note that there are a couple of films with a null length, and they appeared at the top of the output. In a later video, I'll show you how you can use something called case statements to deal with whether you want nulls to be sorted first or last. And that's the standard way to handle this. There's actually a non-standard way though to specify how you want nulls to be handled. For example, whether you want them to appear first or last in a sorted list. But it's commonly supported by a number of different databases, so I'll show you that here. What you can do is write nulls first, and that will make sure the nulls appear first in the list. If you want the nulls to appear last in the list, you can write nulls last. We can run that, and let's scroll to the bottom of the output, and we can see that those films with a null length now appear at the bottom. You can actually also order by multiple columns, so let me first just return this to ordering by length only, and we'll scroll up to the top of the output. So right now all we're doing is ordering by length, and it's default ascending. What if we wanted to order by length and then by the title of the film? So right now, all the films that have a length of 46 minutes, you can see the titles aren't sorted in any particular order. So they're not alphabetically sorted, for example. If we wanted to, we could sort by length and then by title to correct that. So we put comma, title, and running that. And what you can see now is in the output, films have been sorted first by length, so we're still sorting first by length in ascending order. But if you have more than one film that has the same length, it's now going to get sorted by title. So you can see that the titles now are sorted alphabetically. So Alien Center, Iron Moon, Kauai Homeward, Labyrinth League, Ridgemount Submarine, and so on. That's sorted alphabetically. If we now scroll down a little bit and go to the next length, which is 47, you can see that again, now, starting with length 47, the titles are sorted alphabetically as well. So starting with D, and then H, S, and then again, when we go to the next length, which is 48 minutes, the titles get sorted alphabetically again. A, H, M, N, O. So you can sort by multiple columns if you want. And a good way to read this and to think about it is order by length and then by title. And you could even add more columns, so you could add additional columns here, whatever they may be. Right now we're ordering by length, ascending, because ascending is the default, and then by title, ascending, because again, ascending is the default. However, if you wanted to, you could mix that up, so you could order by length, descending, and then by title, ascending. Let's run that, and let's have a look at the output. So we've sorted by length descending, so the films start at 185 minutes, and then the lengths go down. And within that, we've then sorted by title ascending. So C, C, D, G, H, M, P, that's going up in ascending order, alphabetically. So you can mix and match ascending and descending sorting even when you're ordering with multiple columns. You can order by expressions as well. Let's imagine that for some reason we wanted to sort all the films by the last character of their title. What we need to do first then is find a way to get the last character of the title. And in earlier videos, you've seen this function that we've used a few times called left, which we've used to get the first character. There's a corresponding function called right, which we can use to get the rightmost character or characters of the title. So let's use that. And we run that, and let's have a look at the output. Okay, so what we can see here is that the titles are now sorted based on the last character. And the default sort order, because we didn't specify anything, is ascending. So going alphabetically up, A, B, C, D, and so on. So let's scroll down the output and let's make sure that's the case. And I'll make this a little bit bigger, ending with B, C, D, E, and so on. So that looks like that worked. So here we're ordering by an expression, not just by a column. And if we wanted to, of course, we could introduce another column to order by. So let's order by length, and let's make that descending. And let's look at our output, and let's make sure that worked. Yep, that appears like that worked. So we first ordered by the last character of the title, and then by the length, descending. You can also order by aliases that you introduced in your select. To demonstrate that, I'm going to paste in a query that we've seen a few times now in the exercises. And I'm going to run that. This is the query where we've introduced a new column alias called breakeven, and breakeven calculates the number of times a film needs to get rented out to cover its replacement cost. So the breakeven for Academy Dinosaur is 22. This film needs to get rented out 22 times to cover its replacement cost. We've seen this query now a couple of times in the different exercises we've been doing. If we want to, we can order by that break-even column. So let's do that. And let's order by descending. Looking at the output, yep, that looks like that worked. You may not think this is very interesting, but there's something that's quite special happening here. For example, we're referring for the first time to a column alias that we introduced in our select statement. You may or may not have tried previously, but you actually can't do that in some other places. For example, let's try and refer to this break-even column in our where clause. Let's say where break-even is greater than 20, and we'll try and run that. We get an error. It says, the column break-even does not exist. So that's quite interesting. Why does break-even exist when we're in our order by clause? Why can we refer to it there? Why can't we refer to break-even in our where clause? I'll explain what's going on in the next video.